is causing these flames. The will in our minds will keep them forever. Just believe in the fire between us.
We've had this conversation and you seem to agree with me. But when there's complications, you withdraw and leave me to be. When there's a problem, you become like a wall. And every time I trip, it's a free fall. Why don't you help me the way I help you? You don't have to save me, just be my parachute. When I'm feeling down, you're just not there, making sure I'm okay. Why don't you help me the way I help you? Sunshine, I've got you now. We're body on body, oh, body on body, oh, body on body, oh, body on body. I know love now, and you're stuck in my mind. We're body on body, oh, body on body, oh, body on body, oh, body on body. Don't like that I'm with somebody, oh no, I just want to stay in this melody, oh got sunshine, I've got you now. We're body on body, oh, body on body, oh, body on body, oh, body on body. I know love now, and you're stuck in my mind. We're body on body, oh, body on body, oh, body on body, oh, body on body. Friends don't like that I'm with somebody, that I'm with somebody, oh no, oh no. I just want to stay in this melody, stay in this melody, oh, oh.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Tuesday Night Studio Sessions. My name is Sean, and I am going to be your host. I'm a little caffeinated tonight, so y'all are in for it. I'm just saying. Hope y'all are having a good week. I've had a good week. I'm pretty excited about what we're going to talk about tonight. I might be the only one in this room that's excited about it, but yeah, I'm super excited. I've spent the last couple days doing some tests with it. And I'm impressed with what I've done so far, and it makes me want to already upgrade to the next system because I'm so excited. But we're going to talk about the Canon R7 and the VR lens that has come out specifically for this camera. So every year I kind of reevaluate my technology and decide whether or not I need to upgrade, or if there's anything that really, really jumps out at me. And there's a system out there from Canon. It's I would say the best way to get it, there's a Canon VR kit that you can get off of B&H, but it's like almost $6,000. But what excites me the most about it is that it has a VR lens that goes on a regular camera. In the past, I have bought a 360 camera, many 360 cameras that are just 360 cameras. They kind of make you think that they're also action cameras, but they've got this big glass sphere on them, and you can't really bounce off a rock and come away with it. And there's action cameras that are just action cameras, and they can do 6K or 8K, but in reality, it still looks like an action camera. There are VR 180 cameras that's all they do. It's a one-trick pony. And they don't really do that very, very well unless you're willing to shell out a lot of money. But if you're willing to shell out a lot of money just for a one-trick pony, then that's kind of, to me, that's not the best. That's not being the best steward with the money that you have. Okay. But the reason I've really enjoyed looking at in the past, it's been the Canon R5 and then the R5C that came out after that. Are professional cameras that can shoot video and can also take wonderful photos. And there's a lens that can shoot VR 180 video. And we're going to talk about the benefits of that system over other systems that I've tried out in the past, and why I think, I really think this is coming back. So I was into VR for a while, and then VR just kind of died. 360 cameras kind of died. I thought VR 180 was going to be the future because you could watch it on a desktop and you could watch it in a VR headset. You had a left and a right eye. You had 3D video. You had stabilized video. And you could also take the left eye and create a normal video that people without VR headsets could watch. And I thought that was the best of both worlds. The most amazing thing with VR 180 is it's not 360 degrees, so I didn't have to hide behind a bush somewhere to get out of the shot. I could just stand behind the camera and point at what I wanted you to see. Okay. So there are all those benefits of VR 180. And then nobody was really buying VR headsets, so it kind of fell by the wayside. Then Apple came out with a headset. So the fact that Apple has a headset, I really think that immersive video is going to be up and coming, or at least there's a reason for it now. Now that we have HTC Vives, we have MetaQuest, now we have the Vision Pro by Apple, and I feel like Samsung is just going to come back out with another headset. Samsung had headsets for a while. They kind of were the forerunners of VR for a little bit, and then they stepped down because nobody was kind of into it. And then I have a feeling Samsung and Apple, they like to copy each other back and forth. So we'll see what happens. I don't think you can make better than the Vision Pro right now, but it's also the most expensive headset ever. So anyway, there's caveats there. But yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to really get into it in about 10 minutes. Sorry I was late. My wife and I were talking to my son about something really, really important. So that had to come first. And yeah, so good news is I set this live stream up this morning, so I didn't have to run in here and set up the live stream and then start it. So there's that. You guys might notice that my mustache is gone. It is slowly on its way back. It'll be back in a couple weeks. But I decided that I was going to trim my mustache on the sides and went too far, so I had to cut it off. So there's that. And I might be wiping my nose tonight. Sorry. But I get sinus surgery on the 14th. So I'm 2 weeks away from getting my nose dug out. And hopefully it'll be able to flow a little bit nicer. But I noticed I only have 7 people in here. That means tonight's topic is not the most important to everybody. I know everybody wants me to be a drone channel, but I'm really a creative channel, and drones are one of my many tools that I use to be creative. But tonight we're going to talk about VR. I love VR video. If you have not gotten in a headset and watched a live concert, you're missing out. Like last night, I got on my headset and I watched a Sabrina Carpenter concert. Now, I'm not really into Sabrina that much. There's several songs that I like. I think she's kind of dirtier than she needs to be. But that concert, I was able to literally be on stage with her and her dancers, and like, it's an experience that is completely different than if you're just watching a video on YouTube. I live in Nashville, Tennessee, so I kind of want to create some of those experiences. I want to bring Nashville to the world, somewhat. So, yeah. So we're going to talk about that. And I've really wanted a professional VR camera, and I've had some cameras that professional VR people use, but they're not that professional. And then the camera that I'm going to show you tonight, its big brother was actually in the concert last night. I saw it on a tripod. I always look to see what cameras they're using. Whenever they switch from one shot to the other shot, sometimes you can see the camera. Like I look for the position that camera was in. Okay, what's on the tripod over there? And the Canon VR system, they were using that for professional VR last night. So that's what we're going to talk about. This is a more affordable version of it that I think some people that watch my channel might be able to afford. And it's not a one-trick pony. Like it's just literally a lens that goes, which reminds me, I got to get the lens. All right. Now I'm more prepared. But yeah, it's 6:54. So I want to run through roll call for you guys. Yeah. So first in the house was JC Flying. What's up with that font? Oh, the font changed. Okay, good. JC, John, is first in the house. So he was talking about he wants to get another camera over the Canon 50 Mark II mirrorless. He asked what VR was, and VR is virtual reality. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And he actually had a really good idea on my YouTube channel. So we're going to talk about that tonight too. Eat more possums in the house. What's up, Brent? Hope you're having a good night. TJ Giggles was third. What's up, TJ? Hope you're having a good night. Steven Drones is in the house. What's up, Steve? Hope you're having a good night. Oh, my daughter's downstairs cooking. It's making me hungry. Nacho's in the house. Sup? Hope you're having a good night. Nacho's on the road again. Been watching his videos. Chuck's in the house. What's up, Chuck, from Cove Action? Did you change the way your name is written? Because I definitely see the word action now. Because I used to think it was co-vacation because Chuck's videos were all about like travel. And I got that wrong. And he called me out on it. And I felt bad. No, I'm just kidding. Who else we got here? Nacho's listening from the car. Yep. So Chuck used Pet Shop Boys for his latest trailer. I have been... So Chuck, on his video that I used on my live stream, played Chicago, the song Chicago. And I've spent the last week pruning out every little clip because he edited different parts of the song. So it wasn't like, usually like when somebody uses background music on their video and it's the background music for the whole video. It's really easy to prune out that music to get the copyright strike off. But since Chuck edited his video and Chicago, there's like little snippets of that song all throughout his video. It's taken me a while to get rid of that. So there's that. Charles Goluski's in the house. What's up, Charles? Hope you're having a good night. I'm not getting on to you, Chuck. Use whatever music you want to use. Yeah. Who else is in the house? Charles Goluski, TJ Giggles. Man, y'all are talking to each other tonight. Joe Merrick's in the house. What's up, man? Hope you're having a good night. Oh, it did that thing where it starts over again. So Chuck said, yay for creativity. Drones is just a part of it. Yep. So John says that he uses the Zeiss VR 1 Plus. Bought it 2015 at Best Buy. Dang. That's crazy. I don't even know what that is. All right. I feel like I'm all caught up. All right. So that's good to know. So Chuck's trailers are usually copyrighted, and then the videos themselves have epidemic on them. So note to self, if I'm going to use one of Chuck's trailers, which are short, which is what I want to use, don't. But if I want to use 3 hours on a train with his wife, that one's not copyrighted. No, I'm just kidding. It was very interesting. I've never slept in a train car, and I was very interested to see all of the little nuances you guys were figuring out about the toilet and the bed and the slide out and all that kind of stuff. But not the best video to use for like a 3-minute clip. Trailers are better for that. What's up, Bob? Bob Casey is in the house. What's up, Bob? Hope you're having a good night. Yeah. So this is what we're going to talk about tonight. This is my Canon R7. I just got the Tilta cage tonight, so it got it all caged up so it doesn't look just like a point and shoot. It looks more like awesome. I love Tilta cages. And it has this awesome handle on it. And this is just a handle that I always put on my rigs so I can hold them level with 2 hands and stuff like that. But the money that we're going to talk about tonight is this guy. And this is a lens that goes, so I can show you guys. Ooh, I can't take the lens off with this cage on it. Crap. Well, that's already a problem. Surely I can get my finger in there. I got to finger my camera. There we go. All right. So this is just, as you guys can see, this is just a simple R7. This is a APS-C camera, which is a Super 35 sensor, which is, I guess, twice the size of a 1-inch sensor that everybody's been talking about lately. But it's, and I don't know how it compares to a Micro Four Thirds. I believe it's, we can look at that tonight. But anyway, this is the camera and this is the lens. And as you can see, it's got two little holes that shows on the sensor. While I have this out, there is a little place right here where you can screw in a tiny little ND filter. So this is the first VR lens that they've done that. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back on my camera before dust gets in there. This is gonna be hard to do. All right, so snaps into place. And we've got these two lenses that are about the distance that your eyeballs are. And this isn't the first VR camera that I've showed you guys. So so you guys kind of understand at this point, there's a left eye, there's a right eye. The cameras, the difference between this camera system and the VR camera system, and I can show you guys that. So I'm going to go ahead and cue that up. But the VR system that has been out in the past, they use one sensor, okay? The difference between most of the other cameras that I've had that are VR related, all of the VR 180 cameras use two lenses, two sensors, then they sync that footage up. Some sync it in the camera and some sync it in the post. So with the Zcam systems, like you get two video files that you then have to use software to stitch together. And that's why it's been so easy for me to use two GoPros, or I've got two Insta360 cameras in the mix. I've used, and then several dual 360 camera setups. But what those are doing is I'm snapping 3 times, or I'm clapping, and I'm syncing the video there. What's different about this system is there is one sensor, one camera, 2 eyes. So I'm recording with this lens to one sensor, and there's no syncing between the left eye and the right eye. So a lot of my videos that I've synced the audio, I've synced using audio, the sensors will be like microseconds off, or like half a second off, but you really notice it every time I blink my eyes. So if you go back and watch my videos of when I've done 2 GoPros, now if you're doing like the one video I did with my 2 GoPros was an arcade, it's kind of hard to notice what, kind of what's off, because there's blinking lights everywhere and all that kind of stuff. But when my talking head shots, when I was just sitting on my patio, that's where I really noticed that if you close one eye in VR, you don't notice it as much. But if you're watching it in VR with both of your eyes, the blinking is kind of weird. Every time I blinked my eyes, it got kind of weird. So that's what's really cool about this. And I'm super excited about it. The other cool thing about this is that the camera that I bought, so I bought the R7 camera with a 18 to 150. Yeah, with an 18 to 150 zoom lens on it. So I can use it as a regular camera. And it shoots like 32 megapixel shots, and I think I can shoot like 30 pictures a second at 32 megapixels. The other cool thing about this camera is this is a 7K camera that records at 4K. So the file sizes are 4K that come out of the camera, but it's using a 7K sensor. So it's using a really good eyeball. But what it's doing is it's recording on a 7K sensor, and then it's downsampling into a 4K file. So you actually get a lot more information when you're recording. And what you can do with that is you can boost it by upscaling it to 6 or 7K, and then upload it to YouTube, and YouTube will compress it, but the video will actually look a lot better than a lot of the 4K video that was compressed. So yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So a color matching is a challenge. So yeah, a lot of the other VR cameras, whenever you're using two cameras, color matching can be an issue. You don't notice it because your mind kind of puts things together, especially if you have the left camera and the right camera have the same settings. For the most part, they're very, very similar, like the same white balance, same shutter speed. Like if all of those things are the same, the only difference is the lens might have some color issues, or if the sensors are different batches. But generally, if like the VR camera was built at the same time, chances are the lenses and the sensors came out of the same batch. So color matching is not that big of a deal there, but color matching has been a big deal using, like I bought two GoPros and there's a chance they were built in different factories, you know? So color matching can be an issue there, but generally what I like to do in Final Cut Pro is I do the auto color. There's like a color and enhance color and enhance lighting. I'll kind of do, add the magic wand tool, and it'll kind of fix both the left eye and the right eye in the same way, so they end up in the same place, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, that's a good point. Color matching can be an issue. So Bob said, files too big, sheesh. I'm feeling you're using 4K files. They're the same size. I do use 4K fine with this camera, so the file sizes are a little bit bigger, but actually the file sizes coming out of this camera are half the size of the file sizes if I was using two 4K cameras. The final file is smaller, but the footage that I would take with two cameras, like I'm actually just using one camera here, which is pretty awesome. So Chuck says that he uses Lori's A6700 and the Pocket 3. Then I have to color correct a lot in post. You use DaVinci, right? I'm not sure how to do it in DaVinci. In Final Cut Pro, there is a you can get a frame of one video and then a frame in the a frame from each camera, and you can say pull the color from this camera, and it'll do that. Or a simple thing would be to just use a color card, but that can take some time. But I think there is a color card. I think DaVinci Resolve has a really, really good color card system. So if you buy like one of the color cards that DaVinci Resolve recommends, then like I think that's kind of automatic if you've got a color card like in your clip. But when you're out traveling, you probably don't want to pop out a color card all the time. But if it saved you hours in color correcting later, it might be something to kind of add to your system. The problem with like the videos that I see you doing, Chuck, your situation is changing all the time. Like if I was filming like a concert and like the stage, I guess the stage would change a lot, like the lighting. But like if I was filming like a stage during the daytime, chances are the lighting situation wouldn't change that much. But if you're going from the street into a restaurant and the lighting completely changes, you're dependent on that auto exposure, auto white balance, all that kind of stuff. That would probably be a color change, like a color nightmare. But people might not. People would probably expect the color to change a little bit too. John said that he received a compliance authorization from the FAA today. Can fly over people and cars. Good for 48 months. Nice. Good job. All right, the only time so files can be smaller with M265. I think you mean H265. Unless I don't know what M265 is. Oh, yep, he fixed it. Okay, sweet. I knew what he was talking about. Yep, file sizes can be smaller. And to be honest, like what you record in really doesn't matter that much if you're going to just output to YouTube. Like YouTube really, like if you were like producing for like a TV station or, you know, some professional, like I think your Kodak and your megabits per second and all that kind of stuff really is important. But if you're just making videos for YouTube, if you can get it the best, like you can make it look the best on your machine, and then by the time you upload it, it's gonna diminish anyway. So you're using variable NDs. Are you using NDs on your Osmo? Is it a variable? That's kind of neat. Yeah, so that's the other, to add to the mess, if you're using ND filters and you've got some auto functions on your camera, like the data coming from your camera is not really really very accurate because you've added sunglasses to your camera. So like you're overclocking or you're, you know, adding some blur to the background or something like that. Yeah, I'm sure the NDs, and especially if you've got NDs for one camera that are made by a different manufacturer than the NDs from the other camera that you got, that can mess with a lot of it too. Lance Cadana's in the house. What's up, man? Hope you're having a wonderful night. I've been checking out your tiny planets on Club Foxhorn. Pretty cool. So you've got a locked white balance, no auto color. So no auto color in DaVinci, and you've got a locked white balance. But you've got a Sony camera and a DJI camera that treat color differently. So it sounds like what you need to do is you need to have like a kind of like a tuning fork. Like you need to have something that is the same on both of them. So if you used, if you use a log format on both cameras, and then you converted them to, Potato Jet does this. So he will add a lookup table of Rec 709, and that'll kind of give everything a starting point, and then he'll put a conversion on one of the cameras to match the other camera. So Rec 709 brings the log up to like just kind of standard colors, and then like one camera might be warm and one camera might be cool, or one camera might have darker shadows or something like that. So and then in DaVinci Resolve, you can create your own lookup tables. So if you spend all of your time like getting two cameras to match up and then save that as a lookup table, And then the next time you go in, you can just apply that and have, maybe get 95% of the way or something like that. So, yeah, that is my tip. So Chuck said he had to do that with the Bear video to get the stuff close between the Pocket 2 and the Sony. Sweet. All right. So I've had, every time I do a different camera, I get different people commenting on my videos. So I've had some people comment on my video today that that I'm not used to them commenting. I got a little tickle. But I wanted to show you guys first of all, where this came from. I'll show you what I've been lusting over. And I might just sell a whole bunch of gear and just buy this. So there's that. But I'm going to share my other screen. All right. So this is what I really, really want. This is what I really, really want. This is the Canon R5C VR kit. So this is the camera that comes with the lens. And this is not the lens that I'm showing you tonight or that I did videos with. This is where my mind has started. And this is a $5,000 camera, almost $5,100. Yeah. So, but it's instant savings. You save $700. So, it was a $5,800 camera. What I love about this camera is it's a cinema camera that comes with, it's got fans in it. This is just a beautiful camera. And I have wanted this camera for a long time. It's been out for about 2 years. And yeah, but this camera it's very expensive. So I want to show you guys the camera that I bought. So that lens by itself is a $2,000 lens. Okay. And I don't know if there is a demonstration of how it works. No, there's not. But basically what it does the same thing that this lens does. And and like Canon knows what they're doing. Okay, this isn't some Chinese company that just came out with a VR camera that is, they're trying something. Canon, I have had Canon. Canon was my first camera ever. Well, Kodak and probably Polaroid were my first cameras ever. But my first real camera was a Canon XTI. And that's where I really learned how to manipulate my camera settings to get pictures that I really wanted. Sorry, I got distracted. So this lens, so as we saw, like that was a $5,000 kit. and it's on sale. So it was a $5,800 kit to just hit the ground running with beautiful VR. Okay. This shoots an 8K. Well, the 5C, the R5C shoots an 8K. You get really good VR. But then this is a new arrival. This just came out. So the other thing is the 5.2 millimeter is for full frame cameras. So that means that this use the full sensor. APS-C is a smaller form factor, a smaller sensor. But this lens right here is only $1,000, so it's $900 cheaper for the lens. So we saved $900 with this system, and then it's not even registering that as VR. So we'll do R7. Nope. And the R7 is only $1,300. So for like an added $1,000, so for $2,300, you get a very, very good VR camera. And I've already done 3 tests. The photos are amazing. So the next test that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna figure out how to do a VR 180 time lapse using the 32 megapixel photos. I don't know how to batch. There's no way to batch export, so I might have to create a time lapse and then stitch the video is what I think I'm going to have to do. But I'm going to play with that next. But this is the kit that I actually bought. So for another $400, I got a lens. And I always get the kit lens just so I'll be able to use the camera without it. So what are you guys saying? APC works awesome for travel. The crop actually helps us some. R7 is close to the A6700. The other camera that it's really close to is the camera that I bought last year, which is the FX30. Okay, so this is my FX30. Potato Jet has a whole video comparing these two cameras, and they're very similar in just about everything they do. The only big difference is the color science between Sony and Canon. Something that this camera has is it has the ability to this cold shoe up here, or this hot shoe, is actually a smart hot shoe. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it can run audio. So like this kit has an example where which I should have bought this one. No. Where it has a shotgun mic that utilizes the hot shoe. So it's got capabilities where you can pull in data as well. So there is a Tamron like XLR mount that can go in this hot shoe, and you can actually bring in XLR audio in. So Lance is saying that night shooting, full frame is better with night shooting. Yeah, anytime you can open up that sensor, night shooting is great. Something that I'm pretty excited about this guy though is I think this is the first camera that I can actually do bulb photography. So opening up the shutter and doing long exposures. So I'm kind of excited to do a long exposure VR 180 where you can actually see the light in 3 dimensions. I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm going to try to figure out how to do some light painting. So I'm pretty excited. the photos that I took with the camera were pretty amazing. But I wanted to show you guys how the lens actually works. So let's see if it's up here. So it's a mirrorless lens. All right, there's the lens right there. So here's a close-up of the lens. So there's an adjust on each side of the lens. So there's a, wait, I take that back. You can adjust the calibration between the lenses, the left and the right, if they're off a little bit. This is what it looks like on the R7, a nice little close-up. The R7, you know, it kind of looks like a normal camera. So people that don't know exactly what they're looking at, this looks like the camera that I used back in the 90s, like the digital, like the XTI. Well, was that the 90s? Maybe like right at 2000 is when I got that camera. This is an example of the screw-on ND filters that you can put on the back end of it. With the lens having two lenses like this, you can't really screw anything onto it. Okay. They make some that are kind of like a speed booster that goes between the lens and this, and they also make a they make one that Sony makes one that goes in the middle of this as well. But there's an example of that. This is kind of what the side of it looks like. So it looks like 0.66 feet. So less than a foot to infinity is the focal range. And yeah, these are 3.9 millimeter lenses. And then they're f3.5. So yeah, I want to show you guys what you guys can watch my videos on YouTube, but I want to show you guys what the videos look like here. So let's go to my channel. So this is Sean Hyde Studios. I don't know why that one's still private. Let me see if I can make that public real quick. It might still be in moderation. Come on, bruh. All right. Well, that one's still in moderation. But I wanted to show you guys what this looks like on here. It definitely looks better in the app. So if you're going to check out the VR video, I would check it out on DOVR, and you can just there's actually only 3 videos up on DOVR that were shot with this camera so far. So I have the monopoly. 2 of them are mine. But this camera was just released and this lens was just released. In the VR community, people don't like the crop factor as much. So I might be the only one that ever reviews this camera, but we'll see. But I wanted to show you guys on here. So there is kind of a black DOVR is not, I've got to figure out exactly what to type in to get it to look right, because as you can see, it's like my wheels are kind of bent. Now, but I want to show you the quality of the video. And I think the Nissan looks amazing with the clouds. I'm just saying. But in the video, I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. On the viewfinder itself, on the camera, I'm gonna do some videos on what it looks like on my phone. But there is on my phone, there's both lenses. There's two balls, and you can either change those to spread out or not. But then there's this little like white, when you're flying the Avata, and you can put like you can put guides, or you can put a grid on top of your view. Well, this has a view, and it shows me what's in screen and then what's extra. So whenever you're doing VR, you have all this extra room that you can play around with. But y'all, check that out. How good does the Rogue look? That's pretty awesome. So I'm not sure what John's talking about. John said that didn't show wearing my VR headset. Maybe you're talking about the grid lines that I talked about. The grid lines is on my phone while I'm filming the video, not necessarily on the shot itself. But on the desktop in YouTube and on DOVR, you can move things around. And under settings, right now the quality is 4K, but I can upload it. I can update it to 3600. And it'll look even better. So I'm going to go back to the car. At 3600, check out how good that looks. So what's really exciting to me about this camera is that Canon knows how to take video, and Canon knows how to take a picture. Okay. This isn't, a group of developers in China that are really good at, putting a beauty filter on a camera or something like that. Like, Canon has a history of just making good video and good photo. So right out of the gate, they've got most of the things worked out. So John is saying that the black on the sides didn't show. I bet the black would show if you zoomed out. So this is actually what is happening. And then what you're looking at, John, is probably zoomed into here, or maybe even zoomed in here. The indicators that you need to look at in VR is this little, see this this vertical line right here, or this line. So now in this line, see how it's kind of bent? If you zoom out to where that's a straight line, that's probably where you should actually be looking at it. But this is kind of like a GoPro or 360 camera, like fisheye view of what you're looking at. John said his first camera was a Canon back in 1967. Yeah, so Canon knows how to take a picture. That's why when this system came out, and it was somewhat affordable, like some of the drones we buy are more than $2,500, right? So, and this is what I spent on my system. I have a video camera, I have a photo camera, and I have a VR camera all in one. Whereas my CAF camera was $2,000 by itself, and all it does is VR 180, right? And then this camera, my Sony FX30, is for the most part, a video camera. Probably will never take photos with it, even though it does take photos, right? So, but where I'm getting at is I am planning on selling all of my other cameras that I have purchased, and then buying, if I buy that $5,000 camera that we just saw, let's say I sell 3 cameras, I will be able to afford that $5,000 kit, have 2 VR cameras. So if I want to, do VR for someone's wedding, I can do that. Or if I want to film someone's wedding, I can do that now. They're both small enough to put on a gimbal. But I love, and I could, like, to me, this video is good enough that I could do videos in VR 180 now, upload them to YouTube, and then I'll be able to make a VR video and a regular video at the same time. I'm going to try to figure out how to do VR from a drone, but I might not do that. I might figure it out. I don't know yet. Drone videos probably won't be in VR, but anyway, that's kind of where my mindset is now. I think I got 3 people in here now. I've lost everybody with this topic, and that's okay. This is my channel. I can do whatever I want. But yeah, so that is pretty exciting for me. I'm excited to I'm going to do some VR from my son's football game. He is not playing football this year, but he is going to be on the hype crew. So he's going to be running around shirtless with Stewart's Creek tattooed all over his body. No. He's going to be every time there's a touchdown, he's going to run out with the flag and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I really want to do I want to do some time lapses, and I also want to do some video, like a long exposure video. And so I've got several drones with lights on them. And then, you've got to, if you fly at night, you've got to have the blinking light on top. So I feel like I could, with my car headlights and with the drone lights and stuff like that, I can get some pretty cool pictures. I want to take a VR 180 picture of that little halo effect where you have the camera do an orbit around right above you, and then that lights, and then you turn the light on underneath the drone, and it does this little halo, but it's also like lighting you at the same time. I want to do one of those. So yeah. The other thing that this camera does, compared to its older brother, is the crop factor is a little bit, it's cropped in a little bit. Everybody's been complaining about that, but Canon's reasoning for that is to get rid of the tripod legs. So if it's zoomed in a little bit, the tripod legs aren't there. And I think that's a great idea. I feel like in VR, we have been kind of stuck with some decisions that someone made, I don't know, 8 years ago. And that has to be the norm, but I don't think it always has to be the norm. So I think 3D is pretty fun. Watching anything in 3D in a VR headset, to me, is a lot more exciting than watching things in 2D. So some of my favorite things to do, like there'll be like there'll be like in Japan, there'll be like street performers, and someone will set up a VR camera, and you get to like you get to be somewhere that you're not. Like Chuck's videos, he's got travel videos, and like, Chuck and Lori are experiencing things that I don't get to experience. I've had Chicago pizza, but I had Chicago pizza in 2000. 24 years ago, I had Chicago pizza. I don't remember what it was like at this point, but they get to experience that. And one of my favorite things to do in VR is to like use Google Earth and just go to different random map points and then just stand and look around, and then go to another map point and look around. And there's street views that are taken by somebody. And I love doing that. And now I have the opportunity to create those experiences for people that don't get to experience Tennessee, like going to Chattanooga and Lookout Mountain. I can spend a day at Lookout Mountain, take a bunch of VR, little, like the video I just showed you was 30-second clips. You know how hard that video was? Like, I literally made the video in an hour, and then it took another hour to edit and convert it to something that I could show someone else. So even if like every month I went out and, took a road trip an hour away from Nashville, like Chattanooga, Memphis, Gatlinburg, like all of those places are literally like 2 hours away from me. And I can just take a day trip, maybe find a campsite, sleep there for the night. And, I don't even really have to spend that much money. Like Mammoth Cave. Me and my wife were talking about going to Mammoth Cave. How cool would that be to see Mammoth Cave, even if it's just pictures? Like, I have a DSLR that shoots VR now. Like, I can go in there with my camera and take all the stuff off of it. It would just literally just look like a normal camera, and I can take pictures with it and upload that experience, put some nice music to it, or like even just record audio from inside of the cave, or like Fall Creek Falls. How cool would it be just to have a 5-minute video of Fall Creek Falls falling? I could do 5 minutes at one of the falls and 5 minutes at another fall, make that a VR experience, put it on YouTube and put it on DO. I get revenue from DOVR. I haven't cashed it in yet, but I do get revenue from that. I do have my videos set to premium, and people that subscribe to DOVR get to look at my videos. So there's something lucrative in it. John mentioned on my video, how would that lens ever pay for itself? I don't really, nothing that I've purchased over the last 8 years for this YouTube channel have paid for themselves yet. I'm still paying off the first drone 8 years ago now. This is something that I love, and I spend money on things that I invest in, things that bring me joy. So creating, for one, is just like the fact that I can do it excites me enough. Like I can make videos that other people can't make with this camera. So that excites me. But John mentioned that real estate might be a good opportunity to use this lens. So how cool would it be for a real estate agent to go around, take VR photos of their property, and then instead of meeting at all these different places and going to see houses that you don't like, how cool would it be to just sit in someone's office, they put a headset on you, and you look at 10 different properties in like a half hour, and then pick the ones that you want to actually go to. How cool would that be? So I think real estate would be a great opportunity to use this lens. I think seeing like a 360 photo is one thing, but being able to see that room in 3D would just add to the space. So I think real estate would be a great opportunity for this lens. But yeah, so the APS-C I think is better than a lot of the $2,000 VR 180 cameras that are out there right now. I'm going to do a direct comparison between this camera and the CAF camera because I actually have those. So even though this system costs, if you just got the body and the lens, this system would only cost, because I believe the CAF camera was $2,099, and this put together is $2,000. I think it's $400 more. But I bet the quality's better. And for $800 more, you get a lens with it. And there's another kit with this cheaper lens. I got the zoom lens because I think I'm going to get the most out of the zoom lens. Because 18 to 150, there's a lot in there. There's a lot of length. But anyway, that's my new camera, and I wanted to show it to you guys tonight. Stay tuned for more videos on that. I'm going to try to come up with a rig. I've got on this cage. This is how I'm going to, I've got it all rigged out so it looks cool for you guys. But most of the time, I'm going to take that off. And then take that off. Most of the time, I'm just going to walk around like this. So I'm going to put one of the, and I don't have it with me right now, but the Insta360 mount, I'm going to probably attach it to the top. I want to add it to a NATO and then be able to put the Insta360, like put the X4 on top of this so I can record in 360 degrees as well as 3D 180. The other thing with this is, since this is NATO, I can add this to the top. And it's not. Not working out. It's not working out. Y'all get to see my comb over. There we go. So, this is kind of a connection point. It kind of looks stupid, but anyway, since it's NATO, I can add that on pretty easy. Doug Mack is in the house. What's up, Doug? So, yeah, that's about all I want to talk about now that Doug's here. Show's over. No. But anyway, every year I do like a parade video, and pretty excited about some of the things I can do with this camera system. And if it's good enough, it might be easier just to get 2 of these and be done with it. Or this be the B camera and then get the R5C. Now, I believe the R5 II has just been released, so these might go on sale. This system, I don't think is going to go on sale at all because this lens just came out. But with this lens coming out, and maybe that's why that VR kit on B&H was cheaper. Oh, Doug uses quad locks. I've never used a quad lock. I've used is it Incase? Rockform. I've used Rockform mounts for my phones in the past. Rockform used to have beautiful cases for phones, and then at some point they spent more time on function than form, and their cases are just ugly at this point. Or at least every time I've looked at the cases, I haven't liked them. Back in the day, actually, I erased all the memory on an old MacBook because I had a Rockform case with a magnet in it that I sat on my MacBook that had like the old school hard drives that you could erase with magnets. I erased my work computer by sitting my phone on it. Luckily, everything was backed up, but it was not a fun day when I had to rebuild my computer because I screwed it up. So, Doug, since you have just showed up, quick rundown. This is the Canon R7, which is it's kind of a mid-tier. It's not full frame camera. It's an APS-C Super 35 lens, but then a Super 35 camera. And then what this lens does is it records through 2 eyes, and then there's like in here there's like a mirror system that puts all that information on one sensor. So I have one camera with one sensor, but 2 eyes recording information to that one sensor. So there's no syncing the left and the right eye for VR. Right now I bought the R7 with the dual fisheye lens and a zoom kit lens, all for around, what'd I pay? Like almost $3,000 is what I got all that for. So I feel like right now in the drone department, I'm good. And so I'm planning on keeping a couple drones, selling everything else, and paying this camera off. But knowing me, I will probably pay this camera off and then use my available credit that I just paid off to buy another camera. That's generally how I work. But I bought all of this 6 months, same as cash on PayPal. So I have until February to pay it off. So that is. So Doug said he erased his MacBook with a magnet that came with the first Apple FaceTime camera. That magnet was super strong. So did you have the FaceTime camera that went on top of your computer, like a webcam like thing? I had one of those. It was an awesome camera. Yeah, so Yeah, so Doug, so it's VR, but basically what it is, and I explained this a little bit earlier. When I bought like a CAF camera that it was just a VR 180 camera, that's all that camera can do is VR 180. But this camera has a VR lens, but it also takes like 30 frame per second, 32 megapixel pictures. So there was a video on this camera from a photographer standpoint, and she had a zoom lens on it, and she was taking pictures of birds flying, and she was able to get like the whole like flight cycle of the wing, they were pretty amazing pictures, and you could see like the little hairs on the feathers of the bird, and you could see the eye, and it has eye recognition, so I can take pictures of dogs and it'll recognize where their eyes are and focus in there. So anyway, the reason I think this system is, there's two reasons why I think this system is wonderful. One reason is you don't have two cameras that you're trying to sync. You basically have one camera, and all the information is going onto one video file that you don't have to stitch together. You just have to kind of, they're basically two spheres that you have to kind of spread out for it to work in VR. And then this camera, it's an amazing photography camera, but it also is a really good video camera in the respect that it has a 7K sensor. So all the information is going on a 7K sensor, but it's only creating 4K files. But the 4K fine are really, really good 4K files. So like top of the line 4K file, because it's using a 7K sensor, a lot like my cameras that I've had in the past. I had a C100, that the C100 was a professional cinema camera that had a 4K sensor, and you recorded 1080 video. But that 4K, since it was using a 4K sensor, that 1080 video was so good, I could upload it as I could put it on a 4K timeline, and it looked better than a lot of the 4K cameras that I had, because it was such a good quality 1080. And by the time YouTube compresses things, the 4K that you're watching on YouTube is really kind of a decent 1080 video, right? But the 4K video, if I took the video and put it straight on my 4K TV from the camera, it would look way better. But YouTube compresses things, and this is a YouTube channel, so how I get my video to look good, sometimes I'll upload bigger files so that whenever YouTube compresses it, it has more information to compress. So there it is. That was my live stream, y'all. It's 8 o'clock. I think I'm going to go get some grub. Maybe enjoy Ghostbusters just came out on Netflix. So I might watch that tonight. But yeah. So stay tuned to more VR shenanigans. I'm pretty excited about this camera. And now I have a reason to kind of just sell my other cameras. I've gone down this path, and kind of how I got here was I reviewed the camera that's coming out in a month or two, and I just wasn't really super impressed by it. So I'm kind of done with all these kind of Chinese cameras that are promising the future. And I feel like Canon, and if Sony came out with the same kind of VR type system, I think Sony would be awesome. Blackmagic is coming out with a VR camera that's like $12,000, I think, which is insane. But it's for like Apple Vision Pro professional videos. But yeah. So JC just said something that Netflix sucks. So I'm not going to get political tonight, but so Doug is over there flexing about his Cybertruck. With that, we are digressing as a community. But hope you guys have a wonderful week. I think next week is my last live stream before my surgery, and I don't know what's going to happen after that. But we will see how things go. My surgery is on a Wednesday, and hopefully by the next Tuesday, I'll be healed up enough to do a live stream. But I have these weird fears in my head. You guys ever watch Me, Myself, and Irene? Pretty sure that was the movie. There was this albino guy that got punched in the nose, and then all of a sudden his nose would squeak when he breathed in and out. And then there's a scene where he's walking and he's squeaking. You can hear him breathe, and then he starts walking faster, and then he starts squeaking faster. That's the fear that I have. After my nasal surgery, I might squeak. So, but Gary showed up. What's up, Gary? Hope you're having a good night. Gary wants to remind everybody to hit the like button. I appreciate that. The like button does wonders for my visibility on YouTube. So yeah. Hope you guys like this video. Please like, subscribe to my channel, click on the bell for notifications when I put out more live streams, more videos on VR shenanigans, drones, action cameras, regular cameras, and live streaming. All the good stuff. Have a wonderful night, y'all. Peace out.